Trump set to meet with China's president, Kamala Harris stirring things up with her new book, and tens of thousands expected in Arizona for Charlie Kirk's funeral, plus a record-setting sprinter and a medieval coin discovery. Do you know the answer to today's trivia? Which large mammal can't walk backwards? It's Saturday, September 20th, and this is the Flyover Podcast. Welcome to the Flyover Podcast, taking you above the noise for an unbiased, high-altitude view of today's headlines with daily coverage that's honest and refreshing. Let's cruise the news and land the facts. Hello and happy Saturday. I'm Amy Hess, your weekend host. I hope you're having a great weekend. If you missed Feel Good Friday yesterday, you missed a great story of two 80-year-olds who traveled the world in 80 days. It was inspiring. Go check it out. Speaking of travel, we've got a flight ourselves. Let's get ready for takeoff. Here are today's top stories. President Trump says he'll meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping at a summit in South Korea next month, the first in-person meeting between the two leaders in Trump's second term. The two spoke by phone Friday about tariffs, the war in Ukraine, and a deal giving U.S. companies, including Oracle, control of TikTok's American operations using algorithm technology licensed from ByteDance. Trump added he plans to visit China early next year. Meanwhile, former Vice President Kamala Harris is stirring up her own party with a new memoir, 107 Days, set to be published Tuesday. Leaks are already making waves. The book recounts the 107-day sprint of her presidential campaign last fall. And she says Governors Gavin Newsom, Gretchen Whitmer, and J.B. Pritzker all delayed endorsing her after Biden dropped out of the race. Of Biden, she writes, his decision to run was reckless, that he kept making physical and verbal stumbles, and that he even called her just minutes before her debate with President Trump to complain that her team was bad-mouthing him. She also describes how she settled on a running mate. Harris says she preferred then-Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg, but worried voters wouldn't accept a ticket with a black woman and a gay man. She rejected Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro as too ambitious and ultimately chose Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. And this Sunday, Charlie Kirk's public funeral will take place at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, and is being organized by Turning Point USA. The service begins at 11 a.m. local time and is expected to draw tens of thousands. Speakers include Erica Kirk, President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and other high-profile figures. Security will be tight, with TSA-level screening, and attendees are asked to wear red, white, or blue. The funeral will also be live-streamed on Charlie Kirk's Rumble account and broadcast on Fox News, CBS affiliates, and other networks. Let's head to Washington. On Friday, Senate Democrats voted down a House-passed bill to fund the government for 7 weeks, putting Washington on track for a shutdown on October 1st. The measure failed 44-48, with just one Democrat, Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman, voting in favor. Also Friday, the House adopted a resolution honoring slain conservative Christian activist Charlie Kirk. The vote was largely bipartisan, 310-58, with 38 Democrats voting present. Meanwhile, a federal judge struck down President Trump's $15 billion lawsuit against the New York Times, saying the courtroom couldn't be used as a megaphone for public relations. The administration has 28 days to refile an amended complaint. And the Trump administration filed an emergency appeal with the Supreme Court seeking to reinstate a policy requiring U.S. passports to match a person's sex assigned at birth. Lower courts had blocked the rule. Now it's time for Podcast Extra, where we give you even more. You won't find these in the email. First up, Homeland Security agents arrested 11 New York elected officials after they staged a sit-in outside an ICE detention center inside a federal building in Lower Manhattan. The lawmakers refused to leave, chanting in the hallway, and were taken away in zip ties before being released with a court summons. They said they acted in response to community concerns and poor detention conditions. A federal judge had recently ordered ICE to make improvements. DHS accused the officials of obstructing law enforcement and staging a political stunt. Meanwhile, Britain's MI6 chief, Sir Richard Moore, said Friday there is absolutely no evidence Russian President Putin wants peace in Ukraine. In his words, Putin is stringing us along. He accused him of lying to the world and dragging out a failing war of attrition. Speaking in Istanbul as he prepares to step down, Moore said the invasion has only strengthened Ukraine and pushed NATO to expand. His comments came a day after President Trump said Putin had let him down by prolonging the conflict, despite earlier signals of openness to negotiate. MI6 also announced a new dark web portal to recruit informants worldwide, modeled after a CIA program. And finally, as fall approaches, many people wonder, when should you take down your hummingbird feeders? Experts say later than you might think. Feeders don't interfere with migration. They actually give the birds vital energy for their long trip south. In northern and midwestern states, where migration peaks from late August to mid-September, feeders should stay up at least 2 weeks after your last sighting. In southern states, migration runs into mid-October, so leave them out well into fall. Along the Gulf Coast, some hummingbirds migrate later or even remain year-round, so it's best to keep feeders up until early winter. Or all year if you've got overwintering birds. The bottom line, don't take them down too soon. Those late travelers may really need that extra boost. A big thanks to our sponsor, Cozy Earth. Listen, I've got to tell you about something that has completely upgraded my nights. Cozy Earth sheets. I put them on the bed and instantly noticed the difference. I didn't say a word to my husband just to see if he'd catch on, and sure enough, he commented right away. They're lightweight but still feel luxurious. And what I really love is how they regulate temperature. They're made from viscose from bamboo, which naturally wicks away heat and moisture, helping you sleep several degrees cooler. Listen, I'm super picky about my bed, especially now when good sleep feels more important than ever. Science keeps showing how critical sleep is for health and longevity. And these sheets, they've made a huge difference. We both wake up more rested, and now climbing into bed feels like a little retreat. Here's the best part. Cozy Earth gives you a 100-night sleep trial and a 10-year warranty. Yeah, 10 years. So you can try them risk-free. But trust me, once you feel this level of comfort, you won't want to send them back. Head to CozyEarth.com and use my code FLYOVER for 40% off. And if you see a post-purchase survey, let them know you heard about Cozy Earth right here on the Flyover podcast, because your bed shouldn't just be where you sleep. It should be your happy place. Cozy Earth makes that possible. Still ahead, tensions overseas and a big retirement in baseball. But first, here's finance. Let's check in and see how the markets closed on Friday. The Nasdaq closed up 0.72%. The S&P 500 gained nearly 0.5%. The Dow added 0.37%. Bitcoin slipped 1.45%. And gold jumped just over 2% to close at $3,718.50 an ounce. Now for some international stories from this week. First, 3 Russian fighter jets violated Estonian airspace for about 12 minutes over the Gulf of Finland. NATO jets were scrambled, and Estonia's foreign minister called it a brazen and unprecedented incursion. In France, protests brought hundreds of thousands into the streets as unions pushed back against austerity and budget cuts. The strikes disrupted schools and transport, while 80,000 armed police clashed with demonstrators in several cities. And in Egypt, a 3,000-year-old gold bracelet vanished from the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. Authorities say it was stolen, sold for about $3,800, and then melted down at a gold workshop to be turned into new jewelry. Want to see what that bracelet looked like? We've got it linked for you in today's show notes. Time to check the scoreboard. LA Dodgers ace Clayton Kershaw says he'll retire at the end of the 2025 season. The future Hall of Famer is widely considered one of the best pitchers of his generation. In the NFL, Washington Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels will miss Sunday's game against the Raiders with a left knee injury. Marcus Mariota steps in, making his first start since 2022 with the Atlanta Falcons. College football heats up today with several top 25 matchups. Number 16, Utah takes on number 17, Texas Tech. Number 11, Oklahoma faces number 22, Auburn. And number 19, Indiana goes up against number 9, Illinois. And on the track, American sprinter Noah Lyles claimed his fourth straight world 200-meter title, finishing in 19.52 seconds. Still to come, your answer to our poll and trivia. But first, here's our Etc. section. Let's wrap up with a few more stories you need to know as we begin our descent. We start with some sad news. Songwriter Brett James, known for penning hundreds of songs, including Carrie Underwood's Jesus, Take the Wheel, was one of 3 people killed in a small plane crash in North Carolina on Thursday. In Poland, a group searching for buried World War II V-2 rockets with metal detectors stumbled on something else entirely: clay pots packed with medieval coins and grams of gold, all worth a fortune. And in Spain, artist Xavier Bou is turning bird flight into art. Using layered photography and long exposures, he captures their path as elegant, ribbon-like trails across the sky. You can check out those breathtaking images and the medieval coins, both linked in today's show notes. It's time for Pole Position, where we turn the mic over to you. Yesterday, we asked, do you enjoy pumpkin spice flavored foods and drinks? Here's how you answered. 61% of you said no, and 39% said yes. So no love for pumpkin spice with this crowd. Honestly, I like all the fall spices like cinnamon, clove, ginger, allspice, and pumpkin too, but I definitely don't go crazy about it like some people do. It feels like a fall phenomenon. Okay, here's today's question. Do you plan to attend a state fair this year? Your options? Yes or no. You can answer with a link in today's show notes, and I'll have the answer for you in tomorrow's show. Okay, time's up. Trivia time here. Do you have your guesses ready for today's trivia? Here's a little refresher. Which large mammal can't walk backward? Want a little hint? Think Australia. The answer is the kangaroo. Their powerful hind legs are built to launch them forward, not back, and their big, muscular tail keeps them balanced while hopping. So if they need to reverse, they actually have to turn all the way around. It's literally a one-way street for these guys. And with that, we come in for a landing. Thank you so much for spending your weekend with me. And don't forget our 9 state editions for headlines right where you live. Head to jointheflyover.com and see if we have yours. If not, drop us a comment. Let us know where you're listening from. We always like to know where our audience is. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Thanks for flying with us.